session. So to begin with, can I ask Dr. Palak Sheth, who is the Project Director of Geo Institute, to deliver the welcome address?
Thank you, Sanchan. On behalf of Geo Institute, I extend our warm welcome to AICT Chairman Professor Shastra, Vice Chairman Dr. Punia, Member Secretary Professor Rajiv Kumar, and Dr. Soni, who is coordinating this entire workshop on behalf of AICT. I also take this opportunity to welcome our beloved Chancellor Dr. Mashelkar and Vice Chancellor Dr. Deepak Jain, Dr. Mike Keller, Chief Librarian and Vice Provost of Stanford University and Advisor to Geo Institute, Shri MG Shri Kumar, Director Libraries of Geo Institute. I heartily welcome all participants from AICT approved institution who would be immensely benefiting from this library workshop. You are all welcome and thank you for joining for this workshop. Let me now briefly introduce the vision of Geo Institute that would result in many such workshops to contribute towards transformation of higher education of India in a due course. Geo Institute is envisaged as a commitment of our chairman and chairperson to contribute the rest of life for empowerment of youth. Our chairman is very keen that a quality library and knowledge resources is required to reach to the remotest of remote and the poorest of poorest youth of this nation, as he firmly believes that every youth has equal potential and we must strive to provide an equal opportunity. Geo Institute envisage the Geo Digital Library could be one of that largest source of shaping research projects that can solve India's problem and solve them fast. Geo Digital Library project conceived by Dr. Michael Keller and Dr. MG Shri Kumar and Pramod Jain would establish one of the finest India's research library. It is envisaged through this project, we shall attract world scholars and thought leaders in the library science coming to India and contributing immensely for the transformation of library of Indian institution and making them research library, where the curiosity will foster and the new knowledge will be built out of it. We shall also work to digitize Indian knowledge and put up on the Geo Digital Library, which would become as resources for world scholars and thought leaders to do India-specific research. We shall be taking special project like 100 Years History of Mumbai and Art and Architecture of India, because we wanted our library to be always conducting one or two research projects. And that is what we have to learn as far as India's libraries are concerned. Libraries are not only source of dissemination of knowledge. Library can become a research library and a large source in terms of creating new knowledge. And that is what we got inspired when we visited the Stanford Library. We met Mike Keller, who has a stellar career and passion and enthusiasm to build the world's library. And I'm sure when he speaks, he will definitely give a broader overview about it. With this, I again welcome everyone to this workshop. I would also like to give a special gratitude to Dr. Punia, who has given this idea to conduct this workshop so it can benefit much more people in the library fraternity and help us in terms of contribution to the nation. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So next up, I'd like to invite Dr. Michael Keller, who is the Vice Provost and University Librarian and Director of Academic Information Resources at Stanford University, to give an overview of the workshop. Dr. Keller is also Ida M. Green University Librarian, Director of Academic Information Resources, and publisher of Stanford University Press, as well as the founder of Highwire Press. As a university librarian for the past 25 plus years, he has been a national and international leader in transitioning university libraries to digital formats and an advocate for the digital sharing of information resources around the world. Over to you, sir. Sir, you're on mute. We can't hear you. You're on mute, sir.
Good day to all of you. It's a special pleasure and really a delight to be involved with all of you in this workshop in the context of how Geo Institute and its library might contribute both to the success of the great vision of Mukesh Ambani and his wife in making a world-class research university with world-class services, world-class courses, world-class research, and I think most importantly, relationships with other world-class institutions around the world. The leadership of this university, starting with Dr. Mashelkar and Vice Chancellor Deepak Jain, is inspiring. And we have also benefited from the work of a remarkable planning committee led by Palak Sheth and Pramod Jain and Prerna Gupta. This workshop is intended to reinforce the work that we librarians and those information technologists who support our work and help speed it forward in achieving what we should be doing in any case, and that is to constantly review our methods, our methodologies, our content, the way in which we make content available to students and scholars, and really how we as professionals contribute to the intellectual life, first of a community of teachers and learners and researchers directly, and indirectly through them to the rest of a nation, or indeed the rest of the world, of what we might call those who are working constantly to improve the lives of our fellow citizens in a nation, but also our fellow citizens in the world. Being a professional, in my estimation, means that we're constantly trying to improve what we do and how we do it. We are constantly, however, also destined to and charged with providing reliable and consistent services of information access and connections, and the ability to identify relevant items, often directly by end users, but frequently with the assistance of knowledgeable librarians in the public service sector of what we do, but also in the collection development sectors and the technical processing, the acquisitions, cataloging, and preservation of materials for lifelong learners as well. The role of libraries are well beyond what many people traditionally believe. Yes, of course, we collect material. Yes, of course, we're documentalists. Yes, of course, we're meant to be responsive, but we're also in the research library end of the profession. We are destined to provide anticipatory services, anticipatory collections, so that we have material and ideas and services in place and well exercised for topics that arise, questions that arise, and needs that arise. We are here to make use of the past, and as well as to project that learning, those notions, those experiences, those stories from the past to the future. And as professionals, in a time of rapidly changing and really remarkable possibilities for new services and new content, new research, It is our responsibility to gather material, to understand services as they develop, to anticipate needs, and then to provide, through our own interactions with our own professors, our own students, and also with colleagues in our nation and indeed around the world. So we are destined to and responsible for imagining new services, new possibilities to advance the great mission of serving India better, serving the world better, collaborating in India better, collaborating around the world with other advanced libraries. Before I get into the program that is about to be presented to all of you, let me remind you of the setting that we at Stanford are both lucky enough to be in and also well challenged to be in, and that is the Silicon Valley environment. Silicon Valley started its development back in the 1930s, when Stanford helped William Hewlett and David Packard, who were building oscilloscopes for use in a developing new industry, the movie industry. They started their business in a garage, not too many hundreds of meters from where I am speaking on the Stanford campus. And they got money from Stanford to begin their corporation, the Hewlett-Packard Corporation, which is now called HP and has been divided and subdivided and so forth. What has developed over those years, particularly during the Second World War and then dramatically in the late 50s and in the early 60s, into an engine of innovation that is not controlled by the government, but is supported by investors, by engineers, by physicists, by mathematicians, by legal people, and indeed by the Stanford program that involves 72 different departments and lots of people thinking imaginative ideas and ultimately helping the Silicon Valley people by their interactions, by teaching some of them, by engaging with others of them in joint university industry working groups. The Silicon Valley method, as it were, involves a very curious thing. And I speak now as a person who's worked on the East Coast of America, was indeed raised on the East Coast, and has served here both at Berkeley, University of California, Berkeley, and at Stanford. The total of my Berkeley years and my Stanford years is now going on 33, 34 years. And the reason I mention this is that my experience is that on the East Coast, it's remarkably difficult to get attention to consider a new idea. Whereas here in Silicon Valley, almost every idea deserves some attention. And as companies, as features, as applications, some of them physical, most of them digital, all of them driven by digital ideas and technologies, all these ideas are considered in one fashion or another, but only 5% of them get invested. Only 5% of them turn into concentrated work to achieve something. And of that 5%, only another 5% really succeed. But the point is, we start off by imagining what could be, what might be, and we consider how we can turn an idea into something real from simply being a notion. This is the engine. This imagining engine is what drives innovation and ultimately drives new services, new, sometimes very disruptive services, I will admit, but drives new services that encourage learning, that encourages self-advancement, and indeed encourages collaboration, because almost none of these ideas can be achieved by a lonely person working in a workshop or working in a computer lab or whatever. All of these ideas require collaboration. So, as research librarians in this context, we are constantly testing whether our services and our methods, our content is appropriate, is relevant, and is in service to this great methodology. And that is the message that this workshop is intended to deliver to all of you who are participating. First of all, I'm delighted to see that there are about 60 of you participating, and there are a number of really terrific speakers that you're about to hear from in the coming 5 days. And all of what you're working on, if you take a look at the agenda from about a 30,000-foot level, is a combination of some information that is very au courant. It's up to date. And some presentations by people with a special expertise in many of these services that are, in our view meaning the view of the Geo Institute and the director of the Geo Institute Library, my good friend MG Sri Kumar, and we folks here at Stanford. We are in collaboration. Stanford is in collaboration with the Geo Institute, and particularly the Geo Institute Library and the Geo Digital Library. But the point is that there is a combination of presentations that are meant to stimulate your mind, present you with ideas that will drive the future and are now being applied to drive the future. And these presentations and your work together in these working groups are meant to provide you with opportunities to think anew about what might be coming, often what should be coming, what challenges do we all face? How can we contribute to solutions to these challenges? How can we work together as a team of librarians, of institute leaders, especially of our IT colleagues, some of whom specialize in supporting and serving libraries and helping librarians adapt, adopt, and build anew technologies that serve the drivers of education, which is the presentation of knowledge from the past, and sometimes only the recent past, in service to the new, in service to the students who are the next generation of leaders, in service to a larger consideration, and that is our role as professionals in serving our fellow citizens, our nation, and indeed beyond our nation, so as to create a rising tide, as we say, that lifts all the boats. What is it that we can do better? What can we take advantage of in one fashion or another by adopting, adapting, building on it? The idea is that we should all be working together. So who's speaking? Maybe nobody. So let me go over this workshop with you right now. In a few minutes, we will have a presentation by me and by MG Sri Kumar, basically rehearsing the interaction in a sort of generic way of the Geo Institute Library and the Stanford Library. How do we think about what a 21st century library is and what it is becoming? Then a little bit after that, I'm going to give you some ideas about what's going on this minute, these days, in this terrible time of pandemic, that shows how libraries adapt themselves to changing circumstances, either taking advantage of opportunities or dealing with challenges. A little bit later tomorrow, you're going to hear about the new integrated library system known as Folio by a person from Index Data who is very much an expert in implementing Folio. Folio itself, a developing technology. Then we're going to hear from a man from EBSCO, Discovery Systems, about how their services and their content can be helpful And it's a continuing evolution there in service to all of us. And it's a remarkably interactive company. And by that, I mean interactive with itself and its very large staff, and interactive with its end users. Then my colleague, Tom Kramer, is going to introduce to you the platform for open discovery that's being developed by the Ivy Plus libraries, basically his architecture, which has great promise for swift and comprehensive development of metadata and other services based on new technologies, hardly understood by most of the folks, even in the research library community that we're talking about. Our colleague from the National Library of Norway, Sven Arne Bergfeldt, is going to discuss artificial intelligence in libraries. There's a lot going on there. He'll give you a case study from Norway. In the midst of all this, of course, you're going to be meeting in your groups and talking about what you've heard about and beginning to consider what you might do and how you as professionals might contribute with new ideas and new approaches. Then in the fourth day, MG Srikumar is going to talk about libraries and discovery and the catalog and scale, workflow, and attention. And my colleague from the Vatican Library, which you might think is a rather traditional library, and certainly it is, but she's going to talk about the application of the International Image Interoperability Framework to present manuscripts held in the Vatican Library in such a way, in some cases, to serve as textbooks on how to deal with ancient scripts and languages on the one hand, and on the other hand, the historical record and how that historical record can be approached through this new method that we have developed. And Tom Kramer is the architect of that method of sharing information and then working on manuscript pages, comparing them, annotating them, describing them, putting them to use in learning about the history that the manuscripts document. There will be a wonderful presentation on the user experience in academic libraries. And then we're going to hear from Hirai Patel about learning spaces in the future of libraries. And this is rather important because not everything occurs virtually, much occurs in person. And the example of the IIM Ahmedabad Library in the Louis Kahn building is really worth a lot of attention. It's an excellent realization. We will hear also from Tiziana Pazzamoto from the Castellini Libri Group about Share VDE, a new way of assembling ideas and documenting them and getting on with making use of them. And then we'll hear from Carola Blackwood about the UNO conceptual discovery environment based not on indexing words and phrases, keywords and phrases in the traditional mode, but rather extracting concepts from content that then make it possible to show relationships among ideas and discover new relationships that perhaps you didn't know about, and basically expand the possibilities of extracting a relevant hypothesis for some research or some teaching that one is trying to accomplish. This workshop is intended to help us all imagine what might be, imagine what should be. And with that, and having taken a few too many minutes, I'm going to excuse myself and look forward to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As always, that was very inspiring from you. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. There's an issue with the sharing, so I'll just go ahead without it. So next up, I'd like to invite Dr. Rajiv Kumar, who is Member Secretary of AICTE, to say a few words. Professor Rajiv Kumar did his ME in Computer Technology and Application from Delhi College of Engineering and his PhD from IIT Delhi. After completing his PhD, he joined DCR University of Science and Tech in Haryana in the year 1990. His areas of research include mathematical computing, software engineering, and image processing. Sir, can I please invite you to say a few words?
Okay, thanks, Bhattacharya. Respected Chairman AICT, Vice Chairman AICT, Dr. Ramesh Mashekar, Dr. Deepak Jain, Professor Keller, friends from international friends from various parts of the globe, and dear participants. First of all, my thanks to Geo for accepting our request for conducting such a wonderful workshop for our librarians. And as one of the speakers pointed out in the beginning, that the concept came when our vice chairman visited Geo, I think 2 months back. He was so much impressed with the library facility at Geo that he floated the idea that we can also conduct a workshop for our librarians, those who are functioning at the various corners of the country. And the requests were readily accepted by Geo. So I sincere thanks to Geo for extending this facility for our librarians. And this workshop, as I can see the resource person and the total planning of the workshop, the whole participants, they have been divided into 12 groups. So I can expect there is a lot of consultation, deliberation among the groups, within the groups, and daily they have the workshop. The day is starting with the workshop that will give an idea to all the participants the day ahead or the work they are going to do in the day. So this is a wonderful compilation, and the resource persons they have from the diverse areas. This workshop will not only give an opportunity to our Indian friends to have a bonding with the world best resources in this library sciences, as well as the opportunities and the future areas that can be incorporated in their institute. So this opportunity, I hope our friends, Indian friends, they will utilize it. And not only they will finish this workshop only in 5 days, as one of the speakers, when I logged into this seminar, he was pointing out that this is a beginning basically, and this cooperation between the resource persons, institutions, and the participants should be a long lasting. With all these words, I wish a successful completion of this workshop. And once again, I thank Geo and the resource person from the various parts of the world for extending this facility to our friends in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my honor now to request Dr. Deepak Jain, who is the Vice Chancellor of Geo Institute, to address the gathering. Dr. Jain is the European President and Professor of Marketing at the China-Europe International Business School. His influential career spans nearly 3 decades as an educator, senior business school administrator, and a consultant to corporations and governments. Among the many distinctions for his teaching and service, Dr. Jain has received the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman from the Prime Minister of India, an award that recognizes exceptional leadership contribution of overseas Indians. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. And let me offer my welcome to all of you. And I said good morning because it's about 5:45, 5:50 a.m. here in Chicago. And when Pramod asked me to address you, last night I was giving a distinguished lecture to a group of executives in Korea. I got an honorary PhD from them, and I went to bed at 2 a.m. So it's early morning for me, but today I would say good day to all of you. My mentor is here with us, Dr. Ramesh Mashekar, and under his leadership and working with him, and with the blessings of our chairman, Mr. and Mrs. Ambani, I want to let you know that this Geo Institute is going to be a defining moment when it comes to education and learning for all Indians. I really believe this was the best contribution any person can make to the country, to this country of India. And all of us, we look at it as a way to give back to our motherland. This particular program is another defining moment for Geo Institute. I would say this is our first program that we are launching under the brand of Geo Institute as a formal program. And what Mr. Rajiv Kumar said was how we are targeting all the libraries with the new platform of digital world. I always tell people that if you look at the world today and look at how we have evolved over time, I say there is a new human diet for all of us. I use the word called a new human diet. Now, what is that word diet? D-I-E-T. First, D stands for digital thinking. In this world today, we have to think digitally. We are digitally connected. We are on a digital platform. But digital thinking and digital platform, I mean, geography has become history. There are no boundaries today. People from all over the world can join us, and you see this digital library, a manifestation of what I call a digital platform. I stands for innovative mindset. We cannot do business as usual. We need to do business with an innovative mindset. What I mean is think in terms of bringing new innovations. Under the leadership of Michael Keller from Stanford, who has been instrumental from day one in creating a digital library. And in January, when we had the team visit Geo Institute under the chairmanship of Vice Chairman from AICTE, Dr. Punia, they visited the digital library that we have created. And I tell you, when we were asked to do this program, it means they saw something in it. And my sincere thanks to Michael for working so hard and Shri Kumar to create this digital library platform at the Geo Institute. So I stands for innovative mindset. I am sure this is an innovation, because library to me is not a place where you just have book storage. Library to me is a, let me use the word Hindi, it's a mandir, जहां हर किताब एक सरस्वती की मूर्ति है. So library I always considered when I was growing up a place of learning where you go and you have learning and meditation going together, because you are not allowed to talk and others, you do that part. So D for digital platform, I for innovative mindset, E stands for entrepreneurial thinking. We are all entrepreneurs at some stage. Professors may be called as academic entrepreneurs. Some are business entrepreneurs. Some are social entrepreneurs. And I am currently working on a new concept called spiritual entrepreneurship. Business entrepreneurship is how you create a new business. Social entrepreneurship is how you create a better society, a better community, spiritual entrepreneurship to me is how you become a better person, looking within yourself. So this entrepreneurial spirit should be there in everyone, and T stands for talent. Today, we are in this world where your only differentiation is going to be your talent. How talented you are, how well equipped you are. And when I use the word talent, I mean skills, tools, and concepts. Libraries are meant for people to learn. They may not have access to all the books. It's basically a collection of knowledge. So if I look at this particular program and all of you are there, you are going to get a good dosage of human diet. As it was outlined by Mike, all the different speakers, and he also mentioned there would be group work that you all will be conducting. For me, and on behalf of everyone at Geo Institute, for all of you, this is a platform for enhancing your learning. And always, when people ask me, and my colleague Dr. Mashelkar would add to that, very often people ask this question, okay, what's in it for you to do these things? And I personally describe this journey of creating Geo Institute, creating a digital platform as a journey from success to significance. Dr. Mashelkar has achieved the highest level of success that a human being can achieve on this planet in terms of being the head of science. I was the first Indian to be the dean of a top business school in India at the beginning of this century. We consider this as a way. Successful means you achieved a recognition, but that recognition only has meaning if you make others also equally successful. You give others a chance, and that's what I mean by the word significance. By significance, I mean making a difference in the lives of the people. You all have blessed us by giving us an opportunity to offer this program. And if somebody would ask me, what is your, as a marketing person, the brand of Geo Institute, our chairman said, I want this institute where the research would have an India essence. Researchers who come can do a best academic research with an implication for India. So I describe Geo Institute a simple word, India essence, global significance. We want to make a difference in the world, and very few people in life get a chance to do something meaningful. At this stage, this is our best way to give back to the country, work together, make Mr. and Mrs. Ambani proud of their commitment, their devotion. And one thing I can tell you, you have something that you can say for the rest of the life, which we say are bragging rights. You can say we were the participants in the first program conducted under the banner of Geo Institute. That honor and that privilege is not going to be given to anyone else. So again, on behalf of Geo Institute, behalf of all my colleagues, I consider this our commitment to improving the quality of education in India and making 1.35 billion people connected digitally with a great source of learning. ये मेरा सरस्वती माई को हार्दिक मैं धन्यवाद कहूंगी, ब्लेसिंग है कि ग्रोन अप इन अ फैमिली इन अ स्मॉल टाउन इन तेजपुर, असम। कभी सोचा नहीं था कि 1962 में जब चाइना ने इंडिया को अटैक किया था, दे केम टू माय होम टाउन, वी रैन एज रेफ्यूजीज। ये नवंबर 1965 की बात है। आई रैन एज रेफ्यूजीज। उन दिनों ब्रह्मपुत्र पे ब्रिज नहीं था। वी हैड टू टेक ऑलमोस्ट 8 days पहले सब कुछ करके टू कम टू रोहतक, वेयर माय ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स लिव। 55 साल बाद, द सेम वीक, November 2017, a refugee from Assam was named as the European president of a top business school in China. So Deepak Jain is an Indian and American citizen announced as the European president for a business school in China. How global can you be? ये बस सरस्वती माँ की देन है, हमारे इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम और हमारी पेरेंट्स की कमिटमेंट है। फादर अंधे थे, मदर कभी पढ़ी नहीं थी, बस बेटा ये कहते थे कि बेटा कभी भी हो, अगर किसी को शिक्षा दे सको तो शिक्षा देना। डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी टू मी is a forum of Shiksha and learning. And again, Pramod, Palak, everyone, thank you for including me. And I look forward to many, many years of glory and learning that this institute is going to bless us with its showers to all Indians, and not only Indians, to anyone in the world who would like to be connected with us. Thank you. And I wish you the best on the next stages of this particular program. Sorry, I spoke too much, but I just couldn't resist myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As always, it's a pleasure listening to you. I'd now like to request Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, who's the Chancellor of Geo Institute, to say a few words. Dr. Mashelkar has been a national research professor and also been the Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, as well as the Chairman of the National Innovation Foundation, as also the President of the Indian National Science Academy. He has honorary doctorates from more than 42 universities around the world. He was a member of the Scientific Advisory Council to the Prime Minister for over 30 years and has been honored with the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan, three of the highest civilian honors in India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, very, very dear friend, Chairman of AICT, Professor Punia, Vice Chairman of AICT, Professor Deepak Jain, the inspiring Deepak. Deepak, you are at your best as usual today when it comes to Geo. Somehow or the other, you are at your performing best. Our beloved Vice Chancellor of Geo Institute, Professor Raju Kumar, Member Secretary, Professor Michael Keller, not only the Vice Provost, but a great thought leader, action leader in this new universe of digital libraries around the world. MD Sri Kumar, dear delegates, speakers of the workshop from India, US, Europe, colleagues from AICT, the three Ps, Palak, Prerna and Pramod, and my Geo Institute team. Very warm welcome to the International Workshop on Designing Digitally Robust Research Libraries for the 21st Century, which is being jointly organized by Geo Institute and AICT. Today to me is a momentous day, a day when we together are creating a historic moment in the library information science in India. Libraries to me are the melting pots where the society, the culture, the knowledge, scholarship, and technologies converge. They are custodians of scholarly content that lasts for generations, for centuries. At Geo Institute, guided by our most visionary leader, Sri Mukesh Ambani and Mrs. Neeta Ambani, it is our endeavor to make available the best quality content and resources to the learners across India, even in the remotest parts of India. With technology and the pan-India mobile and internet penetration, it has become easier to reach everyone digitally today. I'm 78 now. Maybe I'm the senior most among all of you. So I remember 1976 when I came back to India, and particularly to the young people who were not even born then, let me recall what the situation was. I joined National Chemical Laboratory, and the journals, research journals, used to come by sea mail. So they would come 3 to 4 months after they were published. And those were not the days of internet. And therefore, what happened in the rest of the world, we'll come to know after 3 or 4 days, 3 months. That was the situation under which India grew. And from that time, to see a magical moment of the kind that we have, it has been a big journey, I would say. Now, with content becoming available ubiquitously, it is important that our students are able to access resources that are most suited to them. And there are new tools like using artificial intelligence. Various tools are now being used for discovery of the right content by researchers and students around the world. Professor Michael Keller, a world-renowned leader of libraries at Stanford University, has pioneered digital libraries in a true sense. It's a proud privilege that we are lucky to partner with Professor Michael Keller and his team for developing the concept for Geo-Digital Library. Innovative, disruptive, and I always say I don't believe in best practices, I only believe in next practices. All right, and we are creating the next practice digital libraries of the 21st century, a very proud moment for it. I must say that the event today would not have been possible without the commitment, without the faith, without the support of the AICT leadership, like Professor Sahasrabuddhe, Professor Punia, Professor Raju Kumar. Their commitment is absolutely incredible. Their commitment to the institutions to share the best available knowledge with them, the faith and support that you are giving to the Geo Institute, and amazingly to offer this program ahead of even launching the Geo Digital Libraries formally. We are truly honored. We are truly grateful for this opportunity. Unprecedented disruption in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, end-to-end technology integration, disintermediation, innovation and entrepreneurship pushes, the ever-growing user demands are the highlights of the higher education libraries of the day. Even a 4-year-old now consumes information digitally. This gives us an opportunity to redefine the libraries as we know it. We are very proud that we have internationally acclaimed innovators and pioneers as the speakers with us in this workshop. Together in this workshop, we hope to create a model for the 21st century digital research library. And the context of this workshop assumes even more significance as the Ministry of Education has announced its ambitious National Education Policy 2020. We are truly proud of this great policy. And one of the principles of that National Education Policy is education for all. That means information for all, access to all. And this digital library will fulfill that promise. I especially wish to congratulate the participants for having selected by AICT. Please remember, you have been selected from over 1,000 nominations that were received by them. So you are very special. So please take the best advantage of this unique opportunity. And a final point, Professor Michael Keller, you talked about research libraries. And research is a very important element. You know, I'm a Sir Louis Matheson Distinguished Professor at Monash University, and I give lectures on innovation, and one of them has been on serendipity in science. All right, the accidental breakthrough that we get. But the question that I raised, because it's a point in serendipity that you're not connecting collecting the dots, you are connecting the dots. And the moment you start connecting the unconnectable dots, you create new breakthroughs. Now, with all the information available, can we move from information to new insights by connecting pieces of information which are quite disparate to create new breakthroughs? And I've been seeing advances in this spectrum. So I think the main point I want to make is that the possibilities in this digital world are truly infinite. We are just beginning the journey, a long, long journey with the first few, but very, very important steps. Once again, on behalf of Joe Institute, I thank you and welcome you all and wish you a great workshop full of insights, full of joy, and full of enlightenment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'd now like to invite Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe, who is the Professor of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Guwahati and also the current Chairman of the All India Council for Technical Education, to say a few words. Dr. Sahasrabuddhe has held several.
I think we will leave out that part actually. We'll save time also.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. In fact, after Dr. Mashelkar speaks, there is no scope for speaking by anyone else. And a great visionary by all standards, Dr. Ramesh Mashelkar, whom I know for long. We have been very good friends. He has been an advisor, motivator, for me. Along with Dr. F.C. Kohli, with whom I worked while I was in Pune, as College of Engineering, Pune. And then Dr. Deepak Jain, I don't know whether you remember, we had met you in Kellogg School along with Narendra Kale,
Yes.
way back in 2007 when we went around US for searching our alumni of College of Engineering, Pune. And we had lunch along with your family in the canteen also. That was a long time ago. And we also connected because I also worked in the Northeast for nearly 2 decades, Arunachal Pradesh and IIT Guwahati. So
Yes.
your Tejpur connection and my Assam connection, they go hand in hand in some way.
Yes.
Deepak and we are just contemporaries, both born in 1957. So you are just senior to me by 3 months. So you are my elder brother. And one of the most towering, management gurus, in the modern world. We all know Prahlad, but next to C.K. Prahlad is, I always refer Dr. Deepak Jain. I think that is where you stand, and I'm very happy that all of you are on this platform when we are talking about digital libraries. I was just thinking when you were all talking about various facets about world-class university, world-class research university, which Dr. Michael Keller was saying, Dr. Sri Kumar is putting in all his efforts. But most important thing I felt was the very fact that world-class university, especially the Geo Institute, which has been given this status right from inception, that is institution of eminence status. And many people raised alarm, but I think that all depends on basically 3 A's, I'm saying. Attitude. The attitude must be, that is what has been created by Mukesh Ambani and Nita Ambani. A task has been cut. And then we have that attitude that we will reach the level of excellence and the world class. That is first thing. Then analyzing the situation, the second A, analysis, you adapt to the situation. And the third A is very, very important. Subsequently, we certainly require collaboration. We need caring attitude in an institution, which Deepak indirectly was talking about spiritualism and other aspects. And then building careers of our students. And through the education, 3 E's, education, entrepreneurial capabilities, and finally empowering our students, 3 E's. And who will do this? One of the most significant things are faculty members. The first F, 3 F's out of that, faculty. Then the facilities, in terms of infrastructure, laboratories, the library, all of that in terms of the facilities. And just facilities are not enough. The faculty facilitating the usage of that in the right sense, 24/7 availability. I think these are very, very fundamental for becoming a world-class university. And ultimately, that leadership, which Dr. Ramesh Mashelkar is providing, that Dr. Deepak Jain is providing, that is very, very vital. Without that leadership, nothing can happen. Followed by that, the legroom for innovation. You have a lot of freedom, flexibility, which is to be given to our students. The second L, leadership, legroom for innovation, and library, which is mandir, which you rightly said, it is a really Saraswati Mata ka mandir hai. और उसके बाद self learning and lifelong learning. I think these are 4 or 5 L's which are very, very important. If we follow all of this, I'm sure our institutions will certainly become institutions of eminence in the world ranking order. And I was just remembering, we have started a cell or division in ministry, which is called as Indian Knowledge Systems. And this is very important because we in India had the earliest universities of the world, Nalanda and Takshilas, and that 8-story big building, which was burnt, and it burned for about 6 months with millions of books. Even today, when we remember that particular incident, eyes will be swollen with tears. I think that is the spirit of library, the center stage where it's like heart of the institution where everyone comes. And you rightly said it is a meditative one. You can't speak there loudly, and you have to learn yourself. And therefore, it is in sort of a, you will go into trance many times, in library. Some people will also sleep, that's a different matter. But library is a place where you really enjoy reading new books. And although digital library will come in place, there is still a place for written books. But many times, when you turn around some pages, you get excited actually. And library is that place. And this particular workshop, with the help of Stanford University, Michael Keller, all of you putting in excellent, people who are going to train our library people. These people will get benefited. I'm sure many libraries will emerge as research libraries. And last but not the least, the government has started one initiative which was called National Academic Depository of all the certificates long back, and then National Digital Library located in IIT Kharagpur with not just millions, tens of millions of documents and books, all available free of cost. So in our country, we always thought knowledge is to be given free. When we say Vidya, Vidya Dana, we never said Vidya to be earned something. But Mashelkarji, I am aware that Vidya should lead to Lakshmi also, and then finally Lakshmi and Vidya should live together. This is your famous statement, which I always remember. And let us make this country not only inspiring in terms of Saraswati and Lakshmi, and let us all prosper. Thank you very much for inviting me. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to now request Dr. M.P. Punia, who is the Vice Chairman of AICTE, to give his address. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. For me, it's very, very difficult. Now, 3 towering personalities, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Dr. R.A. Maselkar, Deepak Jain ji. It's very difficult what to speak, how to speak. Very difficult, sir. इससे मुश्किल समय नहीं हो सकता जो है. And when I was trying to analyze, in fact, the level of simplicity and the depth of knowledge which you people are carrying, who is best out of 3? It's very difficult even जो है. तीनों में से सर्वश्रेष्ठ कौन है? It's very difficult, sir.
मार्शल गर्जी है, मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, आंसर दे रहा हूँ मैं.
इसमें कोई शक है ही नहीं.
इसमें आपको शक आना ही नहीं चाहिए था.
ये तो डॉक्टर साहब माशेलकर साहब है.
Deepak Jain Sahab, it was a wonderful time for me. In fact, around 2.5 months back, I visited the Temple of Education, in fact, and the way it is being groomed, it's amazing. The leadership which is being provided by Dr. R.A. Maselkar ji and you, amazing. Your level of vision, simplicity, and person who is from a rural background and reaching to Dean Kellogg School, it's amazing. There is no doubt about the capabilities, the vision which you people are carrying. It may be research university or whatever level of knowledge you people are providing, it will be different. There is no doubt about this one. Today, it is a very, very special day for all of us. 2 very important events we have done today. Morning, we were connected with schools, CBSE schools, in fact. Whatever expertise, knowledge, resources AICTE is having in the country, we are connecting our resources with schools. And now the best resource which country can have in time to come, we are getting connected with AICTE in the form of Geo University. So it's a wonderful time. But Deepak Jain Sahab, Maselkar Sahab, हम जो भी प्राप्त कर रहे हैं, हमारे पास कुछ नहीं रख रहे हैं. जो भी हमें मिल रहा है, हम दोनों लोगों को जो है दे रहे हैं. We are receiving from Geo University, we are giving to schools, we are giving to teachers, we are giving to our academic institutes, we are giving to all sort of education which is being provided for the betterment of society. ये हम लोगों का धर्म है, यही हम लोगों का कर्म है. आपने लाइब्रेरी को बताया, मंदिर जो है एक मंदिर है जहाँ पूजा होती है, जहाँ जनकार बजती है, जहाँ पे अलग से एक वाइब्रेशन होते हैं। अकॉर्डिंग टू मी सर, इट्स सोल, इट्स आत्मा। एक इंसान की जो आत्मा होती है, ये आत्मा है। इन ए academic institute, Atma soul is our library. The teachers are mind, in fact. The students are brain. And whatever infrastructure we people are having, it is in the form of a human body, just like body we can compare. तो पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक बॉडी है, स्टूडेंट्स हमारा ब्रेन है, टीचर्स हमारा माइंड है, जिसको मन कहते हैं, एंड हु इज कंट्रोलिंग एवरीथिंग। मन इज कंट्रोलिंग एवरीथिंग इन द ह्यूमन बॉडी। आत्मा इज एनर्जाइजिंग द एनर्जी विच इज कमिंग, it is through Atma. Then man is controlling, in fact, and all sort of activities which are being done, that is by brain and body, in fact. That sort of combination we people are having. And Dr. Rajiv was saying that I appreciated your efforts related to digital library. It is not only one effort. There are 6 efforts which I appreciated, even to our Honorable Chairman, sir, even to Dr. Rajiv. Wherever I met with anyone, first of all, the simplicity and the level of knowledge, the treasure of knowledge which Dr. Deepak Jain and Dr. Maselkar Saab was having, nowhere it is available. That was my first takeaway from Geo University. Second one, when we have entered into university, 2 programs you people are planning to run, probably now students have been admitted also. One is related to digital marketing, and second one is related to Internet of Things. And related to those 2 programs, the clear-cut outcomes, what students will be after 2 years. These are PG programs, in fact, how those students will look like, what they'll be able to deliver, what they'll be able to do, how they'll be compete globally, in fact. So those outcomes are written, special type of pedagogical approaches this university is having. Third one, the experts which you people are having. Whole daytime we were visiting, and when in India there was a daytime, just like Professor Deepak Jain was saying, it is morning time in Chicago. In the same fashion, the experts were connected throughout US. Many of the experts, they were connected, and when whole day we were visiting that university, Geo University, all the experts who were in US, they were in fact waiting for our meetings. Whole night they were there, they were available. That's the beauty of that university, and that's the earning of Dr. Deepak Jain, the type of relationship which he has created across the globe. I think it is very, very special. It is not a ordinary effort, in fact. Then 5 best universities practices you people have compiled, in fact, and you have compared how best universities of the world are doing, and those best practices you people are trying to incorporate in your functioning. It is again very special. Fourth one, as far as designing of your building is, then international level of competition, 3 best designers of the world, they are working, and best possible infrastructure you will be able to create, and then certainly digital library. In the last, sir, आपके मासेलकर साहब के 10 मंत्र जो है, जो मैं हमेशा याद रखता हूँ, 10 मंत्र इन्होंने जो है दिए हुए हैं, और मासेलकर साहब उन्हीं मंत्रों पे हम काम कर रहे हैं। आपका सबसे पहला मंत्र है एम हाई, इरादे ऊंचे रखो, विजय मिलेगी, जो है ये सबसे बड़ा मंत्र जो है आपका। हर जगह मैं जहाँ पे भी गूगल पे जा रहा हूँ ये मंत्र दिखता है सर। आपका है पीछा करो, किसी भी काम का पीछा करो, परसिवरेंस की आप जो है बात कर रहे हैं। Then third, you are saying we should always be part of solution. कभी भी problem का हिस्सा मत बनो। समाधान if you will be able to provide, then certainly things will move in positive direction. Then you are saying create your own doors when all the other doors are closed. सारे रास्ते बंद हो गए हैं, लेकिन अपने रास्ते आप खुले रखो, ऐसे रास्ते आप जो है बनाएं। Then you are saying, fifth, you are saying work hard in silence, let success make it all the noise. Success will do the advertisement, success will do the marketing, nothing you have to do, in fact. And 3 important attributes which you are saying as 6 Maselkar's mantra, that is innovation, passion, compassion in the heart. That is four very, very important, in fact. 7th, you are saying we can do anything but not everything. Be focused. Always you are saying that be focused, be positive, and learn new skills and technology, because everything is changing with a very rapid pace. And finally, you are saying there is no limit of human imagination, human achievements and human endurance. There is no limit. And these are our mantras also. Our Honorable Chairman, sir, always thinks in this direction, and the connect with the schools which you had, or connect with teachers which we are having, or integrating all sort of infrastructure which is available in the country in the form of our Atal Academy, where Dr. Soni is also connected here. Dr. Soni is responsible for these programs, sir. And like this one, not only Geo University is one program. Last year, he has conducted 1,000 programs. 1,000 programs. AICT doesn't have a single classroom in the country. Our own facilities are not there. We are having academic institutes in the country. He has integrated all IITs, all NITs, all central universities, all best private universities in the country. Their resources he has utilized, and particularly for imparting training to our teachers in emerging areas. Last year, the name of our Atal Academies, it has appeared in the World Book of Records, in fact. And during last year, in 1,000 programs, we have trained 1.5 lakh teachers in the country, and without our own infrastructure. So we are trying to integrate, we are trying to keep our aim high, so that the shape of the country, the face of the country in time to come, it can change. I hope this program will be a wonderful program. Some 30 to 40, I think, librarians in the country, it has been selected out of 1,000. So certainly they are cream, and we are having enormous expectation from these librarians after completion of this 6 days program. Wonderful contribution they'll be doing in their respective institutes. दीपक जैन साहब, ये स्टार्ट है, ये एंड नहीं है. हम इसको एक शुरुआत मानते हैं, अच्छी शुरुआत मानते हैं. हमारे बच्चों को राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे नहीं, आपको अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पे जोड़ना है. द कनेक्ट विच यू आर हैविंग every year, around 1 million students we are producing in engineering and technical education. बहुत बच्चों का हाथ आपको पकड़ना है, उनको रास्ता दिखाना है. माशेलकर साहब, आपको भी लगातार पुश करना है. हमारी होल टीम इज with you people. Probably in time to come, many such new initiatives will be having, and the help from these type of universities which are dream of the country. Probably in time to come, in next 5 to 10 years, your university will appear, certainly the dream which we are having, that in top 100 universities of the world. Best wishes. Thank you very much, sir. Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Thank you Punya sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I request MG Srikumar sir to deliver the vote of thanks?
Thank you very much, Sri Sanjay. Am I audible?
Yes, very well.
So, most respected Dr. R.M. Mashelkar sir, respected Professor Sahasrabuddhe, Professor Deepak Jain sir, Professor Punia sir, Professor Rajiv Kumar sir, Dr. Michael Keller ji, and Dr. Palak Seth sir, dear delegates of the workshop, dear speakers of the workshop from India, US, and Europe, dear colleagues of Geo Institute and AICTE, good afternoon to you, and a warm welcome to the workshop. As already mentioned by the visionary educationists and the learned speakers, this workshop is a class apart and a unique one in many ways. And as rightly mentioned, this event will get registered in the history of the LIS movement in India, that is the Library and Information Science movement in India. Our profound thanks to the AICTE leadership for the opportunity given to us in this regard. The Library and Information Fraternity in India faces a number of challenges, be it state-of-the-art technology implementations, building of collections and resources, skilled human resources, space management, budget and funds, etc. And the COVID pandemic is still going on. It only adds up to our hardships. Dear participants, I am confident that this workshop will provide salient inputs that will help you reposition yourself in the profession and keep you meet those challenges. Let me now come to my duty of acknowledgements. Friends, this workshop has been possible only because of the immense support and generous contributions of many of our mentors, well-wishers, and administrators. Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe is a noted academician and an impactful researcher and an able academic administrator. Sir, it's because of your selfless support and that we could organize this international workshop at a short notice, and we are ever grateful to you. Sir, on behalf of the Geo Institute and the workshop organizing team, I express our sincere gratitude to you for all your support and encouragement, and we request your continued patronage for future also. Professor Punia is an outstanding academician, a prolific author, and a renowned researcher. Sir, it was your vision and suggestion that the Geo Institute may offer a 5-day workshop to the library professionals and IT personnel in the country is being realized by this workshop. On behalf of Geo Institute, the organizing team, and the organizing team, we extend our profound thanks to you, sir, for your intense confidence and unwavering support for this workshop. Professor Rajiv Kumar is a seasoned academician and an accomplished researcher. Sir, it was because of your earnest support that we have been able to put together this workshop, and we take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to you for your support and cooperation for the workshop. Dr. Mashelkar sir is one of India's most eminent and most respected scientists. Sir is currently the Chancellor of Geo Institute. At Geo Institute, Mashelkar sir envisions a multidisciplinary research university as an exemplary Indian academic institution with international repute, which will demonstrate academic excellence, business relevance, and social significance, and that promotes a research ecosystem that enables innovation and entrepreneurship. Sir, you've always been our source of inspiration, and we are ever thankful to you for your exemplary leadership, timely guidance, and unparalleled mentorship. So on behalf of the organizing team, we express our sincere gratitude to you for your selfless support and encouragement. Professor Deepak Jain sir is the Vice Chancellor of Geo Institute. Now, Professor Deepak Jain is giving brilliant leadership in conceptualizing and designing the Geo Institute as a world-class multidisciplinary digital-first research university. Sir, it is because of your constant encouragement and unstinted support that we could organize this important workshop in such a short time. Your infectious smile keeps us always motivated. We express our sincere appreciation and deep sense of gratitude to you, sir. Dr. Michael Keller, fondly called Dr. Mike, is the Vice Provost, University Librarian, and the Director of Academic Information Resources at Stanford University. Dr. Mike is presently mentoring the Geo Institute and the Geo Digital Library that is being set up under his exemplary and brilliant guidance. At Geo Institute, Dr. Mike and his team envisages a Geo Digital Library as a 21st century world-class library, which will play an important role of knowledge creation, knowledge dissemination, and knowledge certification. The Geo Digital Library aspires to fulfill our chairman's vision to provide access to quality educational research resources to the remotest user in India. Dr. Mike is the chief architect of this workshop, and we take this opportunity to express our profound thanks and sincere gratitude to you, sir. Dr. Palak Seth is currently the project director of Geo Institute. Sir, it's because of your untiring efforts, time-to-time mentoring and advice, right from the very word go, that this workshop has been possible. Our sincere thanks to you, sir. The organizing committee would like to express our profound thanks and deep gratitude to Dr. Ravindra Kumar Soni, Director, Regional Officer, AICTE, for his selfless help in organizing this workshop. Our thanks are also due to Mr. Vinod Gupta, Senior Vice President, Reliance Industries Limited, for his kind and continued support to the successful coordination of the workshop. Friends, we have 11 international speakers and 3 from India giving their sessions in this workshop. We, on behalf of the Geo Institute, AICTE, and the organizing team, and all the participants of the workshop would like to express our immense gratitude to and sincere thanks to all the speakers of the workshop who have so kindly consented to devote their time, efforts, and share their invaluable knowledge and experience in this workshop. Our sincere thanks are due to Mr. Pramod Jain, Chief Finance Officer and Head HR at the Geo Institute, for being there as a mentor, advisor, and guide during the entire course of this workshop coordination. Pramod sir, thanks a lot. We express our sincere gratitude to Ms. Prerna Gupta, Head Academic Administration at Geo Institute, for her kind encouragement and timely supports. We thankfully acknowledge the immense contributions of Mr. Savitra Sirohi, Consultant Library Technology Platforms, and Mr. Amit Naik, former Consultant Academic and Library Coordination, for their insightful inputs and advice throughout the planning and coordination of this workshop. Special mention and our sincere thanks are due to Mr. Dhruv, Ms. Rito Misra, and Mr. Naman Singhal, for our dear colleagues at Geo Institute, for their wonderful technical support, meticulous coordination strategies, and in the preparation of the workshop collaterals. We would like to express our sincere thanks to and gratitude to Mr. Sanjay Bhattacharjee for being a wonderful host and for his brilliant MC. We wish to say sincere thanks to Ms. Aparna Manjurekar and Mr. Krishnamurthy Chavan, colleagues at Geo Institute, for their excellent support throughout the organization of this workshop. And last but not the least, on behalf of Geo Institute, AICTE, and the organizing team, our sincere thanks to all the participants who have taken time, efforts, and resources and signed up for this workshop. Friends, we would like to mention that the efforts and work that you have dedicated for this workshop will never go futile. You can take it for granted that this is your golden investment for your own professional excellence and your organizations too. And it will indeed pay dividends in the days to come. Thank you all and wishing you a wonderful workshop.